Well, nobody in 1964, when the 275 GTB was introduced at the Paris Auto Show, could have guessed that it would be such a financial success, such an emotional success, and such a racing success. The car had curvaceous lines that Ferrari really hadn't seen before, other than on some of their race cars like the GTO. They were the first cars with the all-independent suspension. They were the first cars with the transaxle at the back. They were fabulous cars to drive, beautiful cars to look at, and from an investment point of view, I don't think there's been anything better. If you look at the evolution of this car, this is the 10th from the last car built as well. It's got all of the rare options that you would want. If this were a muscle car, it's the Hemi Cuda convertible with the billboards. It's the car that everybody covets. Let's take it out for a spin and see if it works as good as it looks. The three variations of the 275 were really all about performance. The first one, the short nose, they found they had problems at high speeds. Anything over about 100, 120 miles an hour generated some lift, which wasn't a good thing in one of these cars capable of 160 miles an hour. As they built the second half of production, they did the long nose, about 3 inches longer. That eliminated the lift problem. The other big problem they had was the drive shaft. Originally an open drive shaft, had all sorts of vibrations. Mechanics just couldn't balance it properly, so eventually the last bunch of cars were a torque tube. That eliminated the car drove really, really smooth now. And then of course you had different sorts of options, performance options like this car here has. It's an alloy body, so it's a little bit lighter, which is great for braking, turning, and performance in a straight line. But it's also a 6C, which means it's 6 carburetors. The cars in stock trim made about 280 horsepower, or were advertised at 280 horsepower. Reality was probably 250, 260. With the 6C though, that eliminated some of the problems with it being undercarbureted, and the horsepower really did go to 280. Well, what makes this car so unique is the option. The outside filler cap, the headrest, the alloy body, long nose, torque tube car, 6C car. Put all those options together, there's only 2 of these built in the world. Now the owner history is kind of neat too, because we have every documented owner back to new. Luigi Cinetti brought that car over. He sold it to a fellow named Cerubi in New York, who sold it to William Sargent. In 1980, it ended up in Steve Barney's garage. And in 1997, John Skykes rebuilt the motor and restored the car. In 2001, Ulrika and Matthias Fitch ended up with the car in Munich. That's where I got the car, was out of Munich. So now it resides here. We have a buyer for the car already. And if you look at the car, it's one of those great European type restorations. It's not over restored. The car doesn't have perfect paint, it doesn't have perfect body. It's more like the way the car left the factory. If you look under the hood, you can see that the motor has been rebuilt, and there's about $70,000 in bills in the motor rebuild, and it runs and drives. The Europeans are more about driving these cars. As far as driving, all the suspension's gone through. The car is a great car to drive. This is the sort of car that you would take on the Colorado Grande, not even think twice if the car is going to make it. And it's a fabulous car to park in your garage as an investment. This car sold for $15,000 in 1966. Today it's somewhere between 1.2 and 1.3 million. And with these options, this car is destined to be a $2 million car as the market keeps moving north.